everybody. I'm back. Welcome back. I hope you had a good time with the last presentation. And now we are here. Let me make sure I'm up and going because I got to do this and all this nonsense so that I can see your comments. Yep, we are good to go. And turn the volume down and we'll make this bigger so I can see all your comments. Yes, I think we're going to make it bigger. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Hello. Brian sees me. That's what's important. Thanks to Brian for having us and for going to all this work to do these events. And we are very, very glad to be here today. I am going to do the Tanya's Take Kit for KB Riley. Now, you saw me earlier. You're going, wait, I'm confused. Well, some of you may be. I am also an owner with KB Riley, also known much better as Karen Burniston Pop-Up Dies. So I am doing Tanya's Take, which is a kit that I do every month. I grab an old die, not an old die, a previous die, I guess I should say, and I actually put together a kit so that you can make the cover, the card that's on the cover of that die. Let me show you. So in this instance, this month's kit, Tanya's Take Kit, is this card with the Tiny Trees pop-up die. And this is the card that you will make. Whoa! I know. Pop-up cards need sound, don't they? See? Do this again. Everybody go with me. Ready? Whoa! I know, right? So this is the card that you will be making. All right, you had everything in your kit to make these make this card out of this die, and if the dies aren't included, we pre-cut them for you. So I'm hoping that everybody has everything pre-cut. Then during this session, I will give you my take on this card. Okay, ready? I believe there's kits out there, Wendy. So here's my take on the Tiny Trees pop-up. Have a little magnet and a little place to write, and cherry blossoms. Yay, it's cherry blossom time, right? Yes, isn't this adorable? I love this card so much. I love it so much. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to give it away. I really don't. So anyway, and it closes again to make sure that this little ribbon's over there, and it closes with a magnet. So this is the card that we are going to assemble. Okay, some lucky winner is going to get the dies to make this card. Okay, so you will win the oval crosshatch, the happy birthday, the celebrate, and the tiny trees just for commenting. So make sure that you leave your comments while we're going along. And hang on a second. I wish I could see the cherry blossoms. We have a crabapple tree, and it has the most gorgeous blooms. I can't imagine the whole entire, town or whatever location spot being covered in cherry blossoms. It'd be just gorgeous. Okay, so moving along, in my card that I made, all right, I used the tiny trees. I also used the long flap enclosure and the long nature's edges and the oval crosshatch on top of what was already there in the happy spring. Okay, so instead of happy birthday, I went happy spring instead. So we are going to start with the inside. All right, the only difference is going to be where yours are and my colors that I put down. So I will set this here and kind of, I don't have a big enough desk. I have decided I don't have too much stuff. I just don't have a big enough desk. Yeah, that's what I've decided. Okay, and I dropped no, all right. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to start with an A2 card. Or not an A2, I'm sorry, a 5x7 card. I don't normally do 5x7s, but I went ahead and did this time because you can get a much bigger orchard with a bigger card, right? So let's do the inside. We're just going to open it up to the inside, and you should have your pre-cut pieces. All right. I could not find this paper, so I think you have dots for yours. Okay, my paper's a bit different than yours. We have just dots. And I'm going to use my zip dry on this. Now, I talked to you earlier this morning about zip dry. If you did not see that, zip dry is a fabulous glue. We have it at KarenBurniston.com because it lets you move your paper around while it's glued down. And I love that. So I'm going to do that with both of these pieces. And you're going to do that with both of your big pieces. This is a really fun card, and the more you add to it, the funner it gets. It's just incredible. Oh, and someone also from commenting is going to win this card that I'm making. Yay! Okay, so we've got that cracked, and I'm going to turn it this way. Let me move these out of the way. I'll use these in a minute. That'll give me a bit more room. All right, so along this bottom, just like yours, you're going to lay your strips down. Okay, and I have this and this. So we're just going to glue those together with our zip dry. And see how I can move this once it's down? I love that about zip dry. All right. And I'm just going to lay mine across. You have yours, and you're just going to do yours just like this, okay? And on the other side, you have this. All right, really super easy. Use your photographs to guide you along. And then, oh, guess I better put some glue on here if I want it to stick, huh? And I'm going to repeat this process on the other end as well. I never measure anything. It's kind of strange. I just kind of glue stuff down the way I like it. So we're going to do this one more time. Here. And there, just like that. It's kind of a chilly day here, so it's a perfect day to throw on a nice big huge sweatshirt and some jammy pants and go to your crafting space and just craft. Every single person that uses zip dry that I have met loves it, and you'll learn that you can't do without it. I use 2 glues and 2 glues only. Every once in a while, I guess, I shouldn't say that. Every once in a while, I guess, I'll pull out double stick tape if it, if the situation warrants it. But my fine line bottle with my KB glue is one of them, and the other is my zip dry. Gotta have them both. 2 completely different applications. This is for bigger spots that you want to move around and get perfectly straight. This is not for little tiny work. The fine line tip bottle is what we will use for a little tiny work. Okay, so we have this. The next thing I am going to put on is my circle. Let's hold off on that for a sec. Sorry. The next thing I want to do, okay, is I want to put my placers down for my trees. Now, these are what we have for our placers, okay? And I will show you, let me show you your tree, okay? So this is what we're working on now, this piece right here, all right? So those are the pieces that you're going to want to grab. And if you notice, if I turn this sideways, you've got a fold. All right, so you've got a valley and a mountain and a valley. So we are going to take that piece and we are going to make a valley. And you can find the score lines. Karen does a great job of always putting your score lines in with you, right? So we're going to a valley, and on the other side, you'll see it. Okay, there's a score line here somewhere. There it is. Here's the mountain. All right, and it's very important to note that it's not straight across. It's at an angle, and that's on purpose. Okay, that is very much on purpose. All right, so these two little pointy nodules are going to sit right on your fold. Then we're going to glue these two down. Really easy, right? Now, before you do that, we're going to make sure that we have room enough on this side that your tree doesn't go out of over the edge. And the way that we do that, all right, is with this little guy right here who is going to sit on here. I'll show you that later. Actually, I should probably have you make one now. All right. Yes, I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize. So grab one of these. All right, this is your base for your tree. All right, what I have done, each tree gets a base. Okay, so you're going to find your score lines, and the way to make a really cool score line is just use your fingernail, find the score line and bend it up. Even if it bends the other way, it's a great way to find your score line. Bend it up, and that comes out. Bend it up, and fold it, bend it, fold it, bend it, and fold it, and then you have one more little tab on the end. And so now you have all of your lines. You're going to take this little tab, and we're going to glue it right underneath, like this. And I like to, once I get that tab on there, this is little tiny detail work that I am all thumbs when I do little tiny detail work. I don't know about you guys. All right. And then we have our tree base. See how that looks? There. Yep. It's not meant to be a complete circle, so don't force it out. That's what our tree base looks like. Now I've done that miraculously with all four because I did not know how much time I was going to have, okay? So these will fold under, and that's what will attach to these pieces, okay? So we know that this is going to sit right here. We want to make sure, okay, that when it folds, you're going to have plenty of room. All right? So this will help you place it. It's going to glue to that tab. And we want to make sure that we have enough room on the edge so that that tree doesn't hang over, right? That's how you place it. So I do believe I'm going to have my tree right about there because I've got some flowers. So that is where I want this. I'm going to hold it right there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. And a little bit of glue on this tab. And glue them both down. Okay? And then when you fold it, look what happens. There's your mechanism, right? Yeah, exactly. Now, I want to go ahead, so I'm going to have one of my tree bases here. I want to go ahead and I want to add two more in the center. So I don't want one right here. I want two here. So I'm not going to use this one. So I want another one here. Now, I cut it out backwards, and I'm going to lay it here so I know where my placements are, okay? So on this one, I am going to do, and you can see it right here, see? It's going to go valley, mountain, valley, but we are just turning it upside down. So it's going to go, let me find this side, right? There's that one, and there's that fold, and there's that fold. So on this one, we're going to go valley, mountain, valley. All right, but we're going to sit it right about here. Okay, that way our base is going to sit here. We're going to, since we don't have a tree here, I can put this right here. Kind of hard to see with everything looking the same, but I'm going to line both these up right on my score lines. Again, put a little bit of glue here. If you do it in a solid color, it won't matter if you flip it back and forth. We had to die cut it upside down because this has a pattern to it. So we're going to glue that down, put this up, glue that down, and then our next base is going to sit right here. All right. Teresa, can you private message me on that? And I will answer your question. Okay, so see, there we go. Now we have 2 of them, actually 3. So we have one we're going to put here, one we're going to put here, one we're going to put here. Right? Yeah. And then we're going to put one here. So by the magic of television, I have them sitting here. Okay. So and here we go. I'm all thumbs, so bear with me, right? So I'm going to push these little tabs back out. And I'm going to glue, I'm going to fold it in half where the tabs meet, okay? I'm going to glue this tab to this tab. Hang on. Nope, got to check. Hang on, guys. Don't do that yet. I lied. I'm going to glue this way. Okay? So this tab, this is going to lay on the outside. And then this is going to be glued to this piece. So I'm going to do this. Almost to the fold. Right there. See? And that's how you can tell if you place it right. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here on this tab. And then guess what we're going to do? Yes, we're just going to close our card. And we're going to hold it there for a minute while I talk to you. And I'm going to get some coffee. By the time I do that, I'm going to open it up. And look, there's our first base. We're going to do the same thing here and the same thing here. Only this one is going to be the same way. Okay, just like that. This one is a little darker than this one. You don't have to have the orchard trees be all the same color. You can, but you don't have to. All right. I'm pulling mine a little bit away from my fold. If you can see that, see how my fold, I have just maybe a 1/16 of an inch, because it will pull your tree tighter. It'll make the base a bit tighter. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to fold my card again. And that is going to attach to those. Yeah, Kim, my fingers struggle with little pieces. I'm a bull in a china closet. I'm a typical Taurus, really I am. See, I'm going to hold that shut just a tiny bit more because I don't. Nope, I got it. Okay, so now this one's down. Let's do this one. And just always remember when you do these, if you can't remember where the tabs go, you want to hide this tab. All right, you don't want it sticking out. So if you did it this way, your tab would stick out. You don't want to do that. You want to do it this way and cover that tab with your rectangle. There we go, just like that. I'm leaving a little teeny tiny space there so it'll pull it nice and tight. My finger's stuck to it. So I'm right there. And I'm going to close my card again. It's really not that hard. I know it looks like it is, but it's really not. It's really, truly not. To be honest with you, Karen has the best videos ever for any product I've ever seen. She meticulously takes a lot of time on her videos so that it's easy enough for you guys. Okay? And that's an awesome thing because I go back and I have to watch them too. So it's awesome. You've always got those there. Even if you have to go back, and watch them time and time again, which I do. So I'm going to put this one right on my fold line. All right, just to kind of take it a little bit out. So I'm going to look back. I'm going to put a little glue right here. And just like that, I'm going to set it down. It's a little off from the center, okay, just so I can make it a little bit, it pulls it a little bit more, okay. This is really not complicated. The only reason it looks complicated is because I'm doing more than one, okay. I'm just showing you the base. I did the same thing on this and this and this as I did on this one. It's exactly the same thing. What you're really doing is only gluing down 2 tabs, that's it. You glued down 2 tabs there, 2 tabs there, 2 tabs there. You're gluing it on a fold. Here's your fold. The tab's on one side, the tab is going to be on this side. This card looks difficult because it's repetitive, okay? Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that very much. So I'm going to hold that there for a second and just let it set. I'm going to put something on top of it. My coffee cup. Put this on top of it to keep it. Nah, maybe not. And then I'm going to go to my trees. All right. Yep. And see how that folds out nice and flat? So if you give them that little space in the middle, let me show you. If you give them this little space right in here, it pulls them a bit tighter. See, it's repetitive. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Just 4 times. That's all. All right. In the kit, we've shown you exactly where to put these. Now, these little tabs that you lined them up with, those, if I can find my scissors, those can just get snipped off. Those are just alignment tabs. We'll just cut those right off. Now, we are ready to continue to assemble. And the reason that I wanted to do those before I continued with the inside is that gives me leeway to put this here. I want to make sure that I didn't catch anything. So I wanted to put my tree bases in first. So I'm going to lay that here. I used some of my favorite things. Ready? These little, let me find the dot. Hang on. The Long Nature's Edges. I use these so much. There's snowflakes, there's flowers, there's trees, and these flowers you can bend along a little path. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to start my flower right here. Okay. And I'm just going to hold it down. And then my next flower, I think I'm going to have right here. I'm just going to hold that down. And then I'm going to bend it back under like that. And watch this. I'm just going to pull that off. Then I'm just going to come underneath this one. Just like that. Then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to pretend that this is coming up. And let's see. Let's just bring it that way. Right? Okay. So we'll put a little dot here. And a little dot here. My suggestion for you, if you want to just try this out, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit, no, I don't need to, is to just practice with one tree. Once you get that under control, you'll go, oh, that is what she's talking about. It's just repeat motion, just repeat motion. Okay? We could have put one here and not there. Just wherever the bend is, the valley fold is, that's where we can put it. And my zip dry almost got stuck in there. So now I'm just going to set this here. And that's our base pieces. We're going to pull this guy off. All right, and for the top, I am just going to use 2 of these little guys pulled apart. I'm going to trim them off so you can't see where I pulled them apart. Okay, right up here, one in each corner. Now the reason that I did not do it all the way across is because I don't want to get too much bulk in this area right here, or it'll be hard for my flap to hold down. So I'm just going to do this because my flap is going to have decoration on it as well. Okay, so now we're going to go to this piece, okay. I just put a single on mine. You're going to put your white on your green and put that down. Now the next thing, we will do our lettering, okay, and add these little pieces. So you're going to use the word celebrate. I'm going to use happy spring, and I've cut it out of this really cute little pink paper. And I want to add just a little tiny bit of ink to give it some shading, okay? So I'm going to just use my sponge. You can use a blender brush if you want. Very gently. Oopsie. See what I mean? Very gently. Alright, now I don't want any of it to get up on here. So I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper. And I'm going to lay this right on here like this. Right up to there, and that way it will cover the top of spring. Easy, huh? Alright, now to glue the shading on, you will have a black shading to your celebrate. I'm going to have a green to mine. Alright, I'm just going to glue those 2 together. When I do that, I usually use the top because I can control it a little bit more, okay? And I'm just going to very simply dot. I'm not putting glue everywhere, but I'm just going to dot like the outside edges. Don't obsess about trying to get glue on every piece of this because you'll just end up with a mess. Alright. Hang on to it from the front and just work your way over. So you can decide whether you want your shadow to be on the top or the bottom. I usually go on which way it falls easiest when I get it down there. When I lay it down the first time, if it falls to the bottom, that's what I use. And then just work your way around. Okay, see, that's the very easy way to do that, and that way it lines up perfectly. Every time. What do I have in the upper left of my deck? Oh, this? And a bit of background noise. I'm sorry. Is this better? I hope this sounds better. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this happy spring and I'm just going to kind of center it. Well, not really center. How about if we just go a little wonky? All right. Yeah, this sounds better. Sorry, I tend to hold my head down and then I forget that I've got a microphone and then I get to talking real soft and blah, blah. Anyway, I'm back. Okay. So we're just going to touch some glue on this and let that sit right there. Easy peasy. Right? Now for these, I cannot at all not put something in the middle because I'm a bling kind of girl. So right here in the middle of each one, I'm just going to put a little dot I'm going to use my pickup tool, and I'm going to put pearls right in the middle of every single one of them. See how it looks so difficult, but it's really not. Things were done repetitively make it look like you've gone to tons more trouble. See, isn't that cuter? Yes. There we go. Now, to round off this little corner, we don't want to leave it blank. All right? To make the trees, we, and by we, I mean Dolores, meticulously cut an entire, I'm just going to dump them all out, an entire cupcake liner full of flowers for me to use. That's how many flowers we have gone through. I've made, when we're done with this, I'll have made eight cherry blossom trees. Yes! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of those little flowers here, and one here, and a couple, 3 here, and I'm just going to pick up random flowers with my tool, random colors. We'll do a pink one there, and let's do, what's this one? A white one, and another pink one. Right? Oopsie, get down there. And then right here, I want one little white one. You are going to put a snowflake. You're going to put a snowflake, a leaf, a heart, and a flower. And find me a little tiny white one. Put it right there. All right, we're going to put pearls in the middle of those, of course. It's all in the details, isn't it? All in the details. All right, so where's my little pearls at? On there. One there. And one there. Oh, I grabbed 2 pearls. All right. Okay, that's all there is to that. And we are done with the inside bottom. Okay, for the inside top, the only thing I'm going to do is put a couple pearls. Of course, right? This is my favorite pickup tool. I used to use the pickup stick, which is also a very good tool, that has the little gummy stuff on it. And this one just has a wax tip. And if you get glue on it, on your wax tip, you just rub it and the wax comes off and it's usable again. Okay, so with this, we're done. And we set it aside. You can also, here's a quicker, I call it the quicker picker-upper because I never could remember. Quick stick, great tool, right? This, you just turn the little nozzle and this stuff comes out. Great tools. Guess where you can get them? KarenBurniston.com. Yes. And Karen would actually be on here with us today, except she is teaching a class as well. So for those of you that like the KB classes, she does a monthly class. You can go on our websites and go under, I believe, kits and classes, and see all the different ones. They're Zoom classes, so they're always on replay if you can't make it that day. Fabulous classes. It's a store event. You can get the class kits at your local stores too. All right, so now let's work on the trees. So when you do the trees, okay, you're going to do one with a slot and one that's no slot, okay? Now, there's a couple different ways you can do these. I'm going to show you the not cherry blossom way to do it, okay? So the normal way to do it, you have a little bitty branch right here. This is really important, okay? Little bitty branch. You're going to turn your tree over and you're just going to fold that branch to where it touches the other side. See that? That's where it is. Now, we're going to make a little mark with a pin right at that spot so I know not to put anything there. That's where I'm going to put a glue dot. So once we insert this in, it's going to go through here and you're going to thread it right through there. You see? It glues right down. That is to help it stay like this because you don't want it flopping around, right? Now, if we did that with all of these cherry blossoms, okay, you can do these exactly like that at home. And then you're going to add your background pieces here, which is your spring tree. You can add those behind. Those are two big pieces for each branch. There's more just like that. Or you can add little snowflakes, or you can add leaves. And you're going to want to do all of that for all of your pieces, but start with your tree just like that. And then put your glue, hold it down, okay, and put it together. For the cherry blossoms, because there were so many flowers on each branch, so many flowers, and I wanted them extremely full, all right, I did my flowers first. Always keep that bend because you do not want to put a flower on that little branch, okay? We're going to want to fold that over, so just keep that folded under. And then this is how I added a ton of cherry blossoms, okay? So watch this. Doink, doink, doink. It's real methodical, you guys. I mean, real regimented. Look at that. Knots. And when I did all of the rest of them, I actually put them on a non-slip mat. And then I'm going to just randomly grab flowers. I think Dolores cut flowers for, I don't know, an hour, maybe, I want to say. It was a lot of flowers. And this is all I have left after 8 trees, and that thing was almost full. So, thank you, Dee. I know you're watching. She's my little Zen. Dolores is going to have been with me now for 20 years, August 6th. 20 years. Is that crazy or what? 20 years. All right, so I have flowers on that side. Let's do this one real quick. And if you don't work as quick as me, then only do one tree at a time. Now I don't want to put anything right here because I want to get that through my tree. So kind of keep that in mind. But if you do, we can go back and we can trim our trees at the end just like little bonsais. We can find all the little catch points. Oops, stay on there. And if you'll notice, cherry blossoms, of course, are supposed to be pink, right? But from a distance, they're not going to all look pink. Some of them are going to look peachy color. Some of them are going to be white. You can make your cherry blossoms any color you choose. Any color you want. Let's see. And I will warn you guys, if you do the little cherry blossom route, it gets a bit obsessive. Isn't it strange? It gets a bit obsessive because you just want to keep adding and adding and adding and making it fuller and fuller and fuller. All right, I'm going to flip those over. I'm going to do the exact same thing again. making sure I don't get this little catch, okay? So I'm going to put them in random places. We don't want these flowers back to back. We want the tree to look really full. So I'm going to try to put the little flowers where there wasn't one on the other side. It's kind of mesmerizing. Alrighty. Oops. Right there. And let's see, let's put a pink one. One more little pink one right on the edge. Okay. That's done, and then I just push them down, make sure they all stick. That's done. And we're going to go ahead and do the other one. Here. There, 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 there. Okay. Now you'll notice that I'm using Lineco pH glue in my fine line bottle for this, and the reason is because the Lineco pH glue adheres very quickly, and that's exactly what I want when I'm gluing these on, is I want something that sticks right away. All right, yay, look at this. Okay, all of those are on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, remember the fold? Right? Remember the fold? Okay. How many of you guys did I lose? No, I didn't lose anybody. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to slip this through there and unfold that little guy. Here's our little point that we're going to glue. Slide this in here just like this. Okay. And I'm going to just put that little guy right through there just like that. Okay. I'm going to bend him down. And there's my little, see where he is? A little bit of glue here. And I'm just going to hold it for a second so that it gets nice and stayed down. Yay! I just saw somebody congratulate Dolores for 20 years. And I got to tell you, you guys have no idea. She has put up with me for 20 years. All right, so see how, all right, we're going to unfold this, but see how it's going to catch here? We don't want that. So now is when you go into bonsai mode, and you just remove petals. Just remove petals until it does its nice and foldy thing. See that? Easy, huh? I know, right? Anyway, after 20 years, you guys have no idea. She has put up with me for 20 years. Me. Yes. Yes. It's insanity. She's my zen. She's my buddy. She's just my world. So, yes, I will publicly just embarrass the tar out of her right now. Love you. Love you so much. Love you so much. So much. Okay. Ready to put some trees in? You're saying, oh, well, but you only did one. No, I did these ahead of time because I knew we wouldn't have time. Woo, look at all these trees. I know, right? So now all we're going to do is just attach the trees in our little base. You don't even need glue, right? We're going to open this up. I try to hold it with my fingers like this, right? You're going to slide one in on one side. I do each side. And then go to the next side and just kind of squeeze it in until you can get that popped in. And then we're going to work it and just push it in until this one pops in. And then the same with the other side. If it's easier for you to fold back the little flaps like that, okay, you can just fold it back on the last one if you need to get it over the edge, and then pop it right in. And there's one tree. And let's go to the next one. And this is one of my dark trees, so we're going to put it in a dark base. Oh, okay, I got to get myself situated. I'm trying to do it for the camera, but it takes a bit. Put that little tab in, put this little tab in, that little tab in, and this one. I'm going to bend. And see, this is little finger work, but you can do it. I know you can. And that's going to go right in there. So our dark one's going to go here. We're going to put this one right there. And see, all of them have been, that little piece has been folded over and glued to the inside. This is going to pop right here. And don't forget, somebody's going to win this card. Scott Shannon Burns says, seems to me it would be easy to work with you. Ah. Right? Uh-huh. No. No, I'm a perfectionist and I work 120 miles an hour, but I am quite funny. I will give you guys that. But Karina and Dolores both work their tails off for me. They are both fabulous, fabulous people. All right, and I can be just a bit intense some days when I've got 50 things I'm doing. And the last one, finally, I'm just going to fold it over. Don't give me fits. Get in here. Get in here. And it goes right in there. See? And suddenly we have an orchard. Woo! We're going to close it. And we're going to open it up and see if there's any catch points. Yes, there is. Right here. Okay? Something on here catches with something else. And the way that we do that, we're just going to work it. Ah, see that? Right there's where it catches. So no problems. I'm just going to cut these branches off. I'm kidding you not. It's like a bonsai tree. So you can trim up your little bonsai trees to where it doesn't catch. Fun, huh? That's the inside. You guys, that's as simple as it is. All we're going to do, and I'm going to do it last because it's going to have glue on it, and I want to work on the front. So this is our inside. We're going to add flowers down here in a minute, but now we're going to do the fronts. Okay. I have chose to use a little flap for my fronts. I'll set that aside here. This is the, I need to get the name right. I call it the fold over thingy. It's a long flap enclosure. All right. I am just going to use my fingernails, and I'm finding where my fold is. Okay. And it's got these cool little marks here. There's two fold lines. And the reason for that is that if you have stuff on the inside like we do, it will give you room for it to be a little bit thicker. I know that Karen, she's a smart one, man, I'm telling you. So I fold those towards my fingernail, but now I really am going to do the folds towards the back. All right. This is my first fold line. Right along there. And then I've got another fold line that I did as well. And see, it gives you a little edge. See that little edge? so that you've got room on the inside to do what you need to do. Okay? All right. Now, all right, the next piece that we are going to put on is this. Alrighty. And I'm going to use my zip dry to do that. And just like that. I'm going to center that right in line. Now I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to use my fine line glue. All right. So alrighty, we're going to take our card, and I'm going to lay that right up next to that line, and I'm going to center it. See, I've got my edges. She made this so that it's completely usable with different sizes of cards, okay? I am not going to need that edge. So I'm just going to cut that off here in a minute. All right, we're going to do that, and we're just going to fold that over. And I'm going to take this and literally cut off that edge and cut off that edge. And now I have my flap. Right? Yes. Okay. I do believe we are going to move forward. I'm going to set this aside for a second while I work on my front. So here's the front. Oh, I gotta hurry. I only have, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry. Well, this won't take very long at all. All right, so I'm going to put this on top of here, but first I'm going to put a magnet right here. One of my handy dandy little magnets. Whoop. I have glue all over my hands now because I just wigged myself out. All right, I'm going to put this around the outside because I want it to stick immediately. So you're gonna have to be really careful with the placement, okay? Just like that. Now I've got a magnet in here, remember, right? Okay, let's add this. To here, I did not glue the grass on purpose because I am going to cut off one of the bottoms, and this is how you're going to do your front too. All right, you're just going to glue yours. You're going to glue your ovals on and then cut your base off. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here, tuck it down in there, that on. I'm going to, while I'm holding that, I'm going to run some dots so I can put my cherry blossoms on. I put them away too soon, didn't I? Now I'm freaking myself out that I don't have enough time. So we're just going to fill our tree with cherry blossoms. Like that. And you know, if you use the Karen Burniston pop-up dies, I go back and watch Karen's videos over and over. Like today, right before I came on today, I went back to this video online, and you can find the videos with the product. So you don't have to be looking everywhere, right? On the product page is where you will find the video. And I had to go back just to make sure that I was teaching you the right way to do this. I love her videos, and she's got a very calming voice. Karen and I do videos completely different. I'm like a bull in a china closet, and she's just like, ah, so calming and soothing. All right, I'm going to add some down in the little grass. Those are going to be my little ones. Add a couple bigger ones up here. Another white one for the middle. And I think I'll do a pink one. All right, top's done, right? Most importantly, our magnet is in here. We are going to line that up with our card because we need to put the magnet in the bottom as well, right? So we're going to close our card. We're going to lay this on top here. And we're going to glue down just the green piece. Like that. I'm going to use zip dry for this. Okay. It's like this. Alrighty, this is going to fold over, and this little guy is going to be right here. Now I've got a magnet in here, and I can feel it, okay, right there. So I want to make sure that I put a magnet underneath it. Easy way to do that, if you just push your hand and you can see where the magnet is. So here's I'll put my little dot here. I can find a pin. Okay, here's my little dot for my magnet. Please make sure that you have the negative and the negative and the positive the way it needs to be to grab onto each other. All right, so see, that pushed it away. I have it upside down. That doesn't. There it is. I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to lift this up. I do believe it's right about there. So I put a little dot where my magnet's going to go. Put this on, and then we're going to cover it with this. You guys have about 4 minutes to comment to win the card, or the other thing I'm giving away is the dies to make the kit card. So just like that. Alright, you can get everything for this again at KarenBurniston.com. Watch this. So all I'm going to do is just glue. Look, it's already grabbing on. Yay! Then I'm going to put a little glue here. Sorry guys, I went right over the top. My apologies. Here, I'm going to take some double string. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to go underneath and just tie this into a little bow. I always tie knots first. And then the bow. Just like that. Makes you look like you have a double loop there. Fun, right? But we're not done quite yet. Let's go on the inside and add my white oval. Uh-oh. Oh, I did not cut myself a white oval. Nope. Oh, D, we missed one. All right, what I'm going to do before I send this card out is I'm going to put a white oval right here so that you can write on, and it's going to look like that. Okay? I am just going to go through here and dot several different places to where I'm going to add some cherry blossoms. Okay? So I'm going to take all the ones left over, and I'm just going to start, come on, putting them on the ground. And of course, stickles is a must for this card because they have to shimmer, right? Don't get any on the fold. I have 2 minutes. I'm going to show you guys what a card looks like once the cherry blossoms. have blossomed. I don't know. Do cherry blossoms? They're cherry trees, right? They produce cherry. Well, some do, some don't, I guess. And you can put as many of these little guys on here as you want. And that, my friends, is our card. Let that come off. I'll fix that too. All right, there's our card. Okay. Fun, huh? Yes. And to show you, here is another card that will show you the cherries once they blossom. Isn't this fabulous? You're going to add a little swing to yours because that is what is in your card. And all you do is punch a little hole, put your two tire pieces together and add your swing. Right? All right, everybody. And how is that? Perfect time. Thank you, Brian, for giving me an extra minute or two. And thank you guys so much for joining me today. As always, I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon and go back and read all of your comments because I love reading your comments, and I will answer your questions if you have them. Karina is going to draw the names and let everybody know who won. And you guys are going to have a fabulous rest of the day. Make sure that you grab your tickets for the drawing and keep your crafty on. All right? Take care, and I love you guys to pieces. Once again, thanks for spending your Saturday with me. I really, truly appreciate it. And I feel like I'm sitting here with all of you crafting in the morning. So thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.